10th of April 2003. Slosh, thwack. Slosh, thwack. Slosh, thwack. The rain splattered against the windscreen before the wipers swiped the glass clean, patting the water down into a splashy trough above the dashboard. Beyond, the car headlights picked out the narrow country lane rolling out of the darkness, the high hedges on either side giving it the feel of driving through a tunnel. Rebecca rubbed her forehead. Another headache. Probably due to the idiot who had spent the last 5 miles behind her, his headlights blazing away in her rearview mirror. Or exhaustion from driving non-stop from London. There was definitely no other reason for her headache. OK, so she'd been having them almost daily since the accident, but that was no reason to go and see a doctor, no matter what Mark said. Rebecca felt a flush of anger. Mark should be with her now, paying the traditional bi-monthly visit to her parents in Chilbury. He had an excuse, of course. He always had an excuse. There was a crisis at work, and he had volunteered to work late to sort it out, as usual. Slosh, thwack. Slosh, thwack. Slosh, thwack. The radio hissed as it lost the signal for the world tonight. It didn't matter. Rebecca already knew what the news would be. It would be all about the invasion of Iraq. The television news had been full of nothing else for weeks. Journalists in flak jackets reporting live from hotel rooms, interspersed with infrared footage of green blobs flashing back and forth over a burning city. It was like watching someone commentating on a computer game. Today's big story had been about American soldiers pulling down a statue of Saddam Hussein in some dusty town square, while the reporter burbled excitedly about it being a momentous event in history. Seeing the footage of the conquering heroes draping their flag over the fallen statue, Rebecca had felt sick and ashamed. He'd be handing out chocolate bars next. Slosh, thwack. Slosh, thwack. Slosh, thwack. Rebecca twisted the dial for Radio 1. A plaintive piano riff emerged from the speakers, introducing Beautiful by Christina Aguilera. Rebecca left the song playing. It suited her mood and wouldn't distract her from driving. Slosh, thwack. Slosh, thwack. Slosh, thwack. Approaching a sharp left turn, Rebecca changed down to second gear. She turned the corner to be suddenly confronted by 2 brilliant shining lights bearing down upon her. A horn blared out like a monster's roar. Instinctively, Rebecca wrenched the steering wheel to the left to avoid the oncoming heavy goods lorry. The left-hand side of her car went into the hedge, leaves and brambles scraping along the side. Her heart pounding, Rebecca remembered, too late, to apply the brakes. The front of her car smashed into the grille of the lorry, and the windscreen shattered into a million beads of glass. The impact threw Rebecca forward, her seatbelt tightening so much it crushed the wind out of her lungs. Barely a second later, Rebecca found herself being thrown to the side as her car rolled over. Rebecca had a brief sense memory of being on a theme park roller coaster ride. She had never liked roller coaster rides. Her only other thought was to observe with wry amusement that this was like something out of Casualty. The next thing she knew, she was lying in her seat, gazing across a muddy field. Lying in her seat? Her seat had been upturned and her weight rested on her back. But if she was still inside the car, why could she feel the rain upon her face? She couldn't feel any pain, though, which was a relief. Rebecca cursed herself. How many times had her mother moaned on the telephone about lorries using the village as a shortcut, even though the council had installed speed cameras? It was an accident waiting to happen, she'd said. Turned out she'd been right. Rebecca wondered why everything in the field had an orange hue, as though lit by a street lamp. A second later, everything went dark, before lighting up again with the same orange hue. The lorry must have activated its warning lights. What had happened to the lorry driver? For a moment, Rebecca hoped that he'd been hurt. It would serve him right, before banishing the thought. She'd been very lucky not to be injured. But if she was okay, why couldn't she move? Rebecca tried wriggling in her seat. Her seatbelt was so tight she could hardly breathe, but nothing happened. She wanted to wipe the rain out of her eyes, but for some reason her hands didn't respond. She began to wonder whether she might have been hurt after all. Outside the car, the orange light blinked back on. Now that was weird. About 6 meters away, in the field,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?